In the early hours of January 3rd, 2026, the world awoke to a headline few believed possible. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro, a man who had ruled his nation for over a decade, was no longer in Caracas. He was in U.S. custody. This was not a diplomatic transfer. It was not an extradition. It was a raid, a covert, high-risk U.S. military operation carried out in the heart of a sovereign nation. An operation that plunged Caracas into darkness, sent shockwaves across global capitals, and redrew the boundaries of modern power projection. This is the story of Operation Absolute Resolve. For years, tensions between the United States and Venezuela simmered beneath the surface. Since taking power in 2013, Nicolás Maduro had faced mounting accusations: drug trafficking, corruption, human rights abuses, and the dismantling of democratic institutions. The United States imposed sweeping sanctions. Then came indictments, and finally a $50 million bounty for information leading to his arrest. By 2025, diplomatic avenues had collapsed. Under U.S. President Donald Trump, now serving a second term, Washington's posture hardened. Secretary of State Marco Rubio argued that Maduro was no longer merely a regional problem, but a strategic threat. Quietly, U.S. naval assets increased their presence in the Caribbean, and behind closed doors, a decision was made. Maduro would be taken. The operation did not begin with missiles or explosions. It began with intelligence. For months, U.S. agencies mapped every detail of Maduro's life: where he slept, what time he woke, which corridors he preferred, which doors were reinforced steel, and which were not. A key intelligence source inside the Venezuelan government provided critical insight, allowing analysts to build a living blueprint of Maduro's security environment. This information became the foundation of a plan codenamed Operation Absolute Resolve. By early December 2025, the mission was finalized. Elite U.S. Special Operations Forces rehearsed relentlessly, training inside a full-scale replica of Maduro's fortified Caracas safe house. Every hallway, every reinforced door, every choke point. The secrecy was absolute, so absolute, in fact, that Congress was not formally notified. A decision that would later spark intense political debate inside the United States. 4 days before execution, the mission was nearly launched, but weather conditions delayed the order. Cloud cover threatened aerial precision. The team waited and waited. Then came the night of January 2nd. At precisely 22:46 Eastern Standard Time, the final authorization was given. From U.S. warships positioned off Venezuela's coast, the operation launched. More than 150 aircraft moved into action: bombers, fighters, reconnaissance planes, drones, and helicopters. The first phase targeted Venezuelan air defenses, military installations near Fuerte Tiuna, runways at La Carlota Airport. Explosions echoed across Caracas. Moments later, the city's power grid failed. Lights went out. Caracas disappeared into darkness. It was intentional. A city without power is a city without coordination. By 2 a.m. local time, low-flying helicopters slipped through the skyline. Under cover of U.S. air dominance, elite assault teams were inserted near Maduro's compound. Inside the city, confusion reigned. Communications collapsed. Security forces scrambled blindly. The assault team moved fast. Using blowtorches, they cut through reinforced steel doors designed to withstand sieges. Gunfire erupted inside the compound. One helicopter took incoming fire, but stayed airborne. Inside, Maduro attempted to flee toward a secure room, guarded by Cuban-trained bodyguards. He never made it. The assault team forced entry. In less than 30 minutes, the objective was complete. Nicolás Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, were in U.S. custody. By 4:20 a.m., helicopters lifted off from Caracas. The airspace was clear. The extraction was clean. In total, the operation lasted 2 hours and 20 minutes. Minimal U.S. injuries were reported. Venezuelan casualties were acknowledged, though numbers remained disputed. Operation Absolute Resolve was over. Maduro was flown first to a U.S. warship, then onward to New York. As dawn broke over Manhattan, a helicopter touched down at the West Side heliport. Wearing a black hoodie and handcuffs, the former president was transferred under heavy guard to the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. He was fingerprinted, processed, and formally charged in U.S. federal court. Hours later, President Trump addressed the nation. They will face American justice, he declared. He further announced that the United States would temporarily oversee Venezuela's stabilization, securing oil infrastructure and opening the door to American-led investment. In Caracas, the fallout was immediate. Share and subscribe and click the bell icon for more videos.